Welcome back to Gollum. So, yeah, we're still running away from Shelob.
Crash Bandicoot style.
Basically, yeah.
Even the music tries to be like Rayman too.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm actually surprised that. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
I was
about to say.
And that concludes Pedro's speedrun of Gollum.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It technically, I was technically succeeding at grabbing these things, like.
Yeah,
the
I was
game
about
just
to say.
decided that you failed.
No, it's here's the thing. The problem is that the game is super scripted. You have to play the game the exact specific way that the game intends. Like you have to constantly jump back and forth, back and forth. Even if technically it should be possible to speedrun this part, the game won't let you, basically.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the thing. I was actually surprised the game was letting you do that for that first bit there. And here she.
What?
What?
He clipped through the map.
I swear, the fact that this has happened multiple times.
I'm starting to notice a pattern. First, Rise of Lyric. I'm pretty sure I've had another game having this happen to me. Aside from Rise of Lyric.
64.
It happened to me when playing Shadow Dimensions.
Yeah.
It happened to me a few times when playing Beyond Two Souls of all things.
Gollum's greatest threat, the Void.
No. I'm talking about when I played in the off time.
Did you just say that when you're trying to play a game and X-Def comes in and drags me into the Void?
Again, it's like that joke in Roger Van der Dyne's parody of Sonic 06. Hey Sonic, how are you doing? Oh no, I'm clipping through the floor.
Hey, so, not for nothing, but why did you orient your web bits like this? It's like you're trying to make an obstacle course. Like, why not just make an entire trap to catch your prey?
The caves of Kiritungo really are that big. Uh-oh.
But it's like, and you know, I get it for the sake of gameplay, but you just have to wonder, what was Shelob thinking when she made her webs, like, diagonal and slanted like that? Was she drunk when she made them?
Probably.
Probably.
Considering stuff
a
like
bunch of orcs drunk with grog, so he passed through there.
Considering stuff like this is far more interesting than the actual narrative of this game. Good lord. I mean, yeah, I guess stuff is happening, but it's just stuff is happening, but it does not feel like the plot is moving through. Like, what exactly is Gandalf, who's interrogating Gollum, getting out of all this? Oh, yes, I see. So you were chased by the spider. You escaped from this prison. And yes.
You have to understand, Joe, they took a long while to actually catch up to Gollum, so I get the idea Gandalf is squeezing every bit of information that's worth out of him.
It'd be funny if in story he's actually getting bored by this, but you do raise the point that Gandalf is a guy who would essentially want all the details, nothing left out.
And keep in mind, again, he's currently imprisoned in Mirkwood. Franklin probably doesn't even know what to do with Gollum at this point.
Would it have killed this game to have included at the very least a double jump maneuver to get better height at
Okay, I have
times?
to say, Joe, Gollum is one of those characters that would feel really bizarre and potentially awkward to see performing a double jump.
That's fair. Like, I guess maybe something... I guess it would be weird, but... God, I feel like it would help this game a lot more. Or better yet, they should have oriented the game a lot better, you know, to accommodate just a single jump.
Uh-oh.
Eh?
Grashneq is trying to start a fire for some reason. Maybe he wants to lit up the torch.
Well, since we chose Smeagol's option, we're obviously not going to just let Grashneq die, right? Right? Yes, Shelob, smile for the camera. Has Grashneq not noticed that she's right there?
Well, by the way, one thing I want to criticize about the controls in this game, I'm okay with games having a run button even if it's R2, like in the case of this game and other games I've played. Hold on, yeah, here it is.
And Grashneq dies either way.
Okay, to be fair, I haven't checked if maybe going through the Gollum route saves them. I don't care, honestly, to check.
Some minor stuff, Chef. I seem to remember that it might not even be Grashneq, the one you bring along, but potentially another orc. I don't remember the entire details.
Okay, the weird thing is, though, is like the Gollum section seemed to be the thing where we would knowingly sacrifice him, but we went the Smeagol route, which suggested that we would try and help him.
I'll tell you this much. That sure was not a Gears of War 1, you know the scene I'm talking about, right? That was totally, nope, definitely not really getting the same effect, I'll tell you that much.
Like, I mean, again, a lot of these plot choices seem kind of pointless now. I mean, granted, again, like you said, maybe choosing the Gollum option saves Grashneq, but that wouldn't make any sense because the Gollum path seems to be the one that suggests getting Grashneq out of the way.
Yeah, not to mention, like I said, I don't really care enough to go back and watch and check out YouTube for it because I don't really care.
No, not us. Baggins has it. He stole it. Our present, our precious. It was ours, and he took it, and he lied. What have we got in our...
I love how he's leaving out the fact that he totally would have killed Baggins if Baggins hadn't used the ring.
What have I missed?
Grashneq got eaten by Shelob. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Exactly. And then, can you hear the sounds of the crickets?
Nah, the crickets weren't even programmed properly.
Okay, so finally, so starting with this part, finally, the Cinderin voice acting DLC that once again is paid, finally comes into play in Chapter 7 out of 10. So let me get this straight. I had to pay extra so I can hear extra voice acting from the elves, and it only comes into play 70% into the game, into the campaign.
Not only
Are you
that,
kidding me, Daedalic? Are you kidding me?
I just want to add on a tidbit. So basically, we've been playing the game in medias res to get up to this point.
Yes.
Essentially, for some reason, we're skipping over the fact that the Gollum wandered Middle Earth for a bit, for a while actually, a couple of years at least, until he was caught up by Aragorn.
It's weird.
Exactly.
And was given to Thranduil as a prisoner.
Like, I can't help but theorize that the reason they did this is just because they didn't have the budget to actually, you know, properly render other environments that don't look similar to caves and caverns. Also, yeah, I noticed that, like how the other one was called Cruel Lady, this one's called Cruel She-Elf, because I guess that's how Gollum sees her?
Probably.
But he doesn't see Gandalf as a cruel wizard, despite the fact that Gandalf seemed to be interrogating Gollum a little
to be fair, he's kind of beating character for Gollum.
No ropes, see?
Whoa! David Bowie from Labyrinth.
Yeah,
what are
very
you doing
80s,
here?
In terms of design. I can dig that.
Swear it. Swear not to harm anyone in these halls.
You're serious?
You're trusting
I
Gollum.
swear.
I love it.
Smeagol will be very good. Nice elves will see.
You know, maybe Gollum wasn't all that clever and as tactful as we thought. Maybe it's just because everyone around him became dumber by the second.
Thranduil, you really need to start putting some discipline in your court.
We'd be briefs.
I'll say.
Like, already, the problem that happened during the events of The Hobbit was a big deal, and now these two dorks are letting Gollum running out. Unless it's a test of character, I don't remember this part.
The king won't see you. Not today. Not
Right, there's this character too. We did got a glimpse of her before, and
What's with that one's eyes, we wonders? Why don't they shine so terrible?
The light of our stars has left her.
she's blind. Yeah,
Keep your distance, understood?
it will be a plot point for later.
And for us.
Nice elves, beautiful.
That's not foreshadowing at all, I'm sure.
Smeagol didn't mean to bite.
I'm sure you didn't.
Inky promised that you won't betray us, Gollum.
I won't betray you today.
You're not to.
What was that?
Come on, Smeagol.
Nothing.
Come on, Eldest.
But Precious, we can't betray us.
The children stole Mal's food again.
Be patient, Smeagol. Be patient.
Funny, another.
Well, hold on, doesn't Gollum usually call him Precious though?
He felt. He just felt like calling him Smeagol today because.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Teo, but I don't think Gollum and Smeagol ever refer to each other by their names, do they?
Wizard business.
Sometimes not. It's inconsistent if you want.
There you are. Then.
Even in the books?
Investigate a near on her
Yeah,
LLC.
well,
Huh.
the books there's not too much time to try to establish a clear rule.
Ah, okay.
We must talk to the king now.
Also, I'm noticing a pattern. Once again, we're playing as Gollum, who's a captive.
Not to mention, oh, but don't you see, Joe, that the elves also speaking British, but it's a sophisticated British.
Let me put it this way.
Oh,
I put this-
jolly good for that.
I get the feeling that the big problem is that they chose the worst, least gameplay friendly part of Gollum's life to adapt. Like, so yeah, I decided to show off. Basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try repeating that chapter with the Cinder and VA on, because this is before I realized what the Cinder and VO DLC is. Because I was under the impression that I would be able to hear and understand what the elves say when they speak Cinderin, right?
Have an eye
Oh
on
no,
the
don't tell me. They speak in Cinderin, but we don't get subtitles.
We do get, there you go.
You do that in Elvish, Jova, or Sindarin as it's probably referred.
So basically, Jova, I was hoping that maybe turning on the DLC or off, to just check if maybe that dialogue would have been translated, so I can hear what they're actually saying, right? Kind of like what's the name, Tail? The fictional language in 10. What's its name?
Bad.
Albed. Kind of like the Albed stuff, right? However, that's not what it does, Joe. But here's what the Cinderin VO DLC does. There's occasional NPC, unimportant elves that you can see in the background, you can occasionally encounter, but they don't say anything. If you turn on the paid DLC Cinderin VO thing, you can just hear them say things in Cinderin, but since it's not translated, you can't even understand it. So I literally paid to hear dialogue that I cannot understand.
So what you're paying for DLC-wise is the equivalent of what Final Fantasy X does, minus the reward of eventually
At least
understanding them.
Final Fantasy X translated the bloody thing. If I went into you have to collect the collectible things. But if I remember correctly, Theo, there's a new game plus that allows you to translate everything, right? If I remember
You start hearing and reading Albert stuff way before even meeting Riku.
Yeah. But yeah. So allow me to repeat that, just to make sure this is clear. I paid. In fact, let me check. In fact, before I say it, let me check what the price actually is, so I can have the price. I want to have the price. I want to have the price right here in front of me. Give me a moment.
It's a game that requires focus, which you are taking.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
boy,
So
game.
allow me to remind you of what this is. I paid. This bit here. I'll let you guys listen to this first.
The rules are long and you are too short. Jeez.
Sorry, Joe. Apparently, even these elves in Thranduil's court are just as assholeish as the one in Elrond's.
And the elves wonder why they constantly get turned on.
All right. If I remember
well,
correct. Sorry.
on.
No. Go ahead.
If you would let me
It's more about the usual job, high and mighty, that, that causes you risk.
Hey, look, guys, I found a caterpillar so I can eat myself and restore my health. It's not like I have a much better, easier way of exploiting the game to refill my health or anything.
All right. Did I? I think in an earlier part of this, or in one of the film commentaries, I said a different reason as to why I think the elves left Middle Earth because of a certain reason. I think I've got a different one now. The elves left because there was a war going on, but they knew.
Oh, I think it's here. Yeah, right here.
Because they're a bunch of dickheads, so they just left to say fuck you.
Did you notice? Did you notice this dialogue that this she-elf is saying right now?
Yep.
I
don't know what she's saying.
This is part of the Cinderin VO. This is it, guys. If you have the Cinderin VO DLC, you get to occasionally hear some unimportant NPC elves that you don't talk to just casually say things in Cinderin that you can understand. Go on, Theo.
You want more immersion, I suppose, but the problem is, making it a price thing.
Exactly.
Like, again, how do you actually check? Have you checked how much did it cost?
Yes, but let me just first say something real quick too. Again, allow me which begs the question, okay, why would you want that feature off to begin with? I can understand it being a paid DLC because you're greedy and you want money. That I get. But why even have the option to turn it off? Why would you want not to have that dialogue in? What purpose would it even serve to turn off the dialogue? Like, I don't know, it feels like a weird option to have. Why would anyone want to have less dialogue in the game?
Like,
I don't think it's a case of less dialogue. I think it's a case of you will hear that in English.
No, Theo, you're not getting it. If you have the DLC turned off, you don't even hear anything from those elves. Period. That's the thing. So let me get this straight, Theo. You either don't hear anything from those elves, or you pay €3, or if you want me to be precise, €2.99. You pay that, and you get to hear these elves say random obnoxious lines that you cannot even understand. So you're literally paying for nothing, basically. You're literally paying for nothing, because it would be one thing if they were to really translate it. At least I could understand what they were saying. But no, you can't. Okay, I can understand. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know Cinderin, which means I cannot understand what they're saying. Meaning, I really paid €3 for nothing. This is This DLC is literally a scam. It's literally a scam.
I just want to point out that in a lot of other games, this is the equivalent of a voice update patch, which normally doesn't cost money. Just saying.
Yeah, remember, East 8 had an entire relocalization patch. By patch, I mean free patch. And it's if I remember correctly, the Steam version already has it from East 8.
Let me put it like this.
Yeah.
This would be like if the Crash Insane trilogy, when they added in those extra lines that people were complaining was missing, that they charged for you to be able to hear those lines. And
£2.49 for this shit.
No. That's the thing, Dwebs. Keep in mind, Dwebs, you're paying £2.49 to hear voice-acted lines that you cannot understand because it's in a fictional language. Meaning, Dwebs, you're paying for you're literally paying that for nothing. This is literally a scam.
Mind you, Pedro, copies of the books do contain usually the actual Cinderin alphabet and basic words. So technically, someone who has a knowledge of a book can actually properly understand it. It's not a case like, for example, the lyrics in a song, in a music composed by Keiichi Okabe. It's a fictional language, yes, but Tolkien did provide a way to understand it. It's more of a case of being pointless. The problem here are more the fact that it's pointless and that it still costs.
Yeah. I understand that too, but at the same time, I still don't think the player should be forced to be versed in those aspects of the books to understand. Like, why not just have the lines translated then? If it's possible to translate them by using the books, why not just translate them for the games to make it easier for people? Like the player shouldn't have to pause the game every time he hears one of those lines and go check the book for translation. That's just no. I'm sorry. That's just inconvenient at best.
Like, it's one thing when companies are being greedy, but it's simply just adding some English text. It's not even hard.
Yeah, this line here. Yeah, this is another part of the Syndrome VO. Why not just have these lines translated in English so that it becomes easier to just enjoy the game and not have to check the books for translation material? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to... Yes, you could... Oh, if I check the books, I can see what they're saying, but I shouldn't have to do that. The game should just work on its own.
If I may touch base on a thing from earlier, gotta love how the game hints that, oh, you might get a funny mini... It's like, oh, you think you might get a fun little mini game with whatever game those elves are playing? Nope! They're just rude and saying the rules are long and you're too short. Like,
to be fair, that kind of dialogue, that kind of interaction specific or that kind of thing, it does remind me a couple of the type of traditional dialogue you would get from Data Leak point-and-click game, particularly Deponia, which in itself is inspired by LucasArts stuff. So it's not too out of the ordinary, it's just that the experience has been dragged for the game, that it basically adds salt into the wound unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Admittedly, my major problem is the fact that you had an obvious chance for a mini game just to add something to do in this game, yet you blatantly did not take it. Also, that's how they render actual clear water.
I guess at least Gollum, that means Gollum actually had a bath once in a while.
Hooray!
I mean, clean water bath.
Alright, so I guess we're sneaking because the elves legit let the psychopathic Gollum just around like that.
Oh,
But
don't worry, Trova. He said he won't bite.
So, I guess we're once again looking for a way out.
I'd rather be playing a way out right now.
Oh, it's absolutely the same. It's just, you know, look, I wouldn't even mind Gollum being captive, but couldn't we have had some other stuff? And no, like, I honestly consider the Shelob experience part of getting out of the prison still.
Pedro before mentioned... uh-oh. There you go, must have been the wind. Pedro mentioned before about picking the drabest gameplay-wise, points of life of Gollum. Again, to me, this more speaks about not sure exactly for what specific factor, if it was a combination of just the inexperience, incompetence, maybe a combination or anything, but my point being, how could we lose him? It's a case of the developers. Oh Jesus! The developers, not taking full advantage of what the source material that they had to make it full extent. Because
I do agree.
The skeleton is technically there. It's just if you actually manage to make the gameplay fun and not frustrating. Honestly, this would have been much more different.
I think what really makes the gameplay especially frustrating is that at times it acts for pixel perfect precision in a game this broken.
Let me give an example. A game on the Wii that I usually have referenced occasionally, which is called Deadly Creatures, I think it's called. It's like an IP that the old THQ owned, which means now it's in the Embracer group and has always been my #1 candidate to get a re-release at some point. We'll have to see about that. Because it does use some motion control being on the Wii and everything, but the game about controlling a tarantula and a scorpion respectively on their path, and it's not too dissimilar to this in terms of mechanic, but in order to spice up the gameplay, they make the combat a bit more engaging. It's not entirely always stealth, well, it does contain stealth section.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, go on.
I'm looking into the prices. I'm gonna look up the British prices while I'm doing this. So here's the basic gist of it about the DLC, because I want to rant about this because this is fucking stupid. So the Center VO, like I said, costs €2.99. I'm assuming in America
for £2.49.
£2.49. But check the lore compendium, Dwebs. How much is that in pounds in the PlayStation Store UK? Basically, Gollum's Center VO is €2.99.
Compendium.
Hold on, give me just a moment. $2.99, which probably means that the American version is probably also $2.99 probably. So, Dibs, how much is the UK lore compendium for this thing?
Maybe the street.
£3.99.
£3.99. Great. What about the emotes pack? Yeah, about that. I'll talk about that in a moment. Go on, Dibs. How much is the emotes pack?
£2.49.
Okay, so it's the same as the Syndrome VO. So here's the basic gist of the DLC, everybody. So I want to talk about the Syndrome VO DLC. What is the quote-unquote emotes pack, you might ask? Apparently, you can have Gollum do various Fortnite-style emotes in this game, but you have to pay for that feature as well. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me how in the recent Gears of War games, 4 and 5, you have to pay for a curb stomping animation, which was included by default in every Gears game before the Coalition took over.
It's like how with Metal Gear 5, they made the tuxedo something that had to be paid for, despite the fact that, if I recall correctly, the tuxedo suit was always something that you could earn.
Yes. No. The only purchases Phantom Pain has is coins to accelerate your process in building the base and shit, which is something that basically is something to cut down on the grind. But actual content is not locked beyond a paywall. So.
You were saying about deadly creatures too?
No. Go on, Pedro.
Yeah. The lore compendium, like Dib said, is £3.99. Over here, it's €4.99. So $5 for this thing. I'm assuming it's the same thing for America. In fact, you know what?
Well,
I'm gonna log into my American account so I can check how much are the American prices. Because you know what? I paid for this shit. I have the right to rant about this. Go on, Jova.
I mean, let's see. When it comes to pounds, we've got a bad conversion rate. So, like, if it's like, say, a certain amount of pounds, usually sometimes multiply that by like 1.5 for us in terms of American dollars.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You were supposed to jump back behind you.
Right, yeah. Okay, a pound is about worth 1.27 United States dollars.
I cannot believe I literally have to talk about this. A game that is literally asking me to pay €5 so I can check the fucking lore.
I mean, okay, I guess we gotta ask. Better or worse than horse armor?
I'm afraid you're gonna have to fill me in on that.
Horse armor was the first
Pedro.
ever...
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was one of the first major cases of game release on console which add DLC, you know.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I have the only Bethesda game I've played is the Genesis Terminator game too.
Well, okay, just to have the TLDR version cosmetic, so it's not really the same thing to answer Jova's question.
Well, my point was like, well, the infamous thing about it was that it was a cosmetic that cost $2.50, and
here it is, Jova. It's the same price as in here, for me and Teo. The emotes pack for you is $2.99. The Cinder and VO is
the pound one that cost differently because of conversion rate.
The Cinder and VO is also $2.99, and the lore compendium is also $4.99 for you, Jova. But it's okay, Jova, because
we're a lot closer in euros.
But it's okay, Jova, because the standard version of this game is right now on sale for only $19.79. Nah, still too much.
I was about to say, I'm sorry, that still sounds a bit overpriced for my liking.
Especially the Precious Edition is not on sale, so you still have to pay $70 for it. Well, $70 for this game.
It's okay. You know what? Look, if the DLC was hell, even good, maybe.
Look.
I mean, look. Okay, look. I don't think this game was even worth a full price release, even if it were working properly.
The game is too short. The game is only 10 chapters. You can okay. If it wasn't for the fact that I get stuck sometimes because I don't know what to do, I'm pretty sure I would have finished this game under like 10 hours tops.
Not only that, but
I
it
was
just...
about to say, I think you're going the complete wrong
Yeah.
direction.
I got completely turned around too.
No, I think it's more of... Okay, I think it's... I get what's going on. You actually sequence broke for a bit and got to the point you were going, but then you moved backward through the road you were supposed to take.
So I sequence broke the game.
I mean...
Brilliant.
We're finding different speedrun tricks, I suppose.
Yeah.
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I cannot stress enough how bad the quest marker is in this game. Like, it gives you just the most broadest of directions, which can accidentally end up misleading you at times.
So you're probably wondering,
yes, you're
what do
supposed
I
to
have to do?
eventually get there.
What do I have to do? I have to go into the river and swim towards my
But
destination.
wait, I thought going into the river would make you drown in some cases.
No. To be fair, the game already established that Gollum can swim in this game. To be fair, so
okay,
that is an option that has been put on the table before. It's just
So I'm
that
guessing
it's just that you know, like I wasn't even thinking of maybe doing that because, you know, very rarely has this even come into play. So I even forgot about maybe trying that. But that
I
being
know
said,
that you
about
can swim. I'm just assuming
Yeah.
that like the running water there is considered deadly.
just quickly before we're done, let me just finish my thing here. This game is costing $70 fucking bucks. Okay, let me put it this way, guys. I paid $70. Well, in fact, no, I paid more because I bought the deluxe edition of Final Fantasy 16, and I also paid $70 for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I can tell you one thing: this game is definitely no Final Fantasy 16, and definitely no Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'll tell you that much. Like,
Oh my goodness.
okay. Yeah, that's basically it, everybody. Tune in next time where Gollum goes for a swim.
Yeah.
See ya.
Andy.